You may know former Vogue editor Leon Talley. Well, he is now spilling some tea and he is calling out his former boss, Anna Wintour. And he gave us a little snippet, an excerpt from his forthcoming memoir saying that Anna is not capable of human kindness. Ouch. So the question is, would you ever publicly out somebody that you've worked with, a boss or anybody, if you felt they wronged you?
I mean, before we get to that, I just want to focus on Leon Talley and Anna Wintour for a second, because I'm not actually sure that this was a risk for him. Who was out here thinking that Anna Wintour is warm and fuzzy and basically a saint? Nobody. I think for years and years, we've all known that she is a dragon lady, or at least that's her reputation. There's a best-selling book and a blockbuster cult favorite movie called Devil Wears Prada that's essentially about what a horrible boss she is. So I don't know that he's giving us anybody anything new here.
And you know what? I had to look this up when I saw the topic, and I do know the movie The Devil Wears Prada. And you're right, as someone who knows nothing really about the fashion world, I knew her reputation. So I don't understand what he's trying to do. Just myself personally, I do have a belief that I never will bury anyone. It's a moral value of myself. And I just think if you've got to put someone underneath to get yourself ahead, and this is a memoir, obviously you're making a little bit of money. Personally, I just wouldn't do it, but to each their own. I don't fault people for making money, but I don't really see the purpose in all of this, to be quite honest.
I don't know. First of all, shout out to Leon Talley for the title, the Chiffon Trenches. That's fabulous. But this is the thing, I'm writing a book right now. And it is a memoir, and it's about personal as well as professional things. And there have been challenges along the way. And you know what? Will everybody be happy after I've written this thing? No, they won't be, because I am absolutely telling my truth. Now, does that have something to do with the fact that I have more years behind me than ahead of me in this industry? Maybe I'm at the point where it's like, hey, come for me. I'm writing it. I don't know. But I know that it wouldn't be the book I want it to be if I didn't write, the stuff that's happened to me through the years, and so it's bearing my soul. That's what a book should be about. I can't fault him for doing that. I think that if you're going to write a book, I think of Andre Agassi's Open, which is one of the best autobiographies I've ever read. And even Jessica Simpson's book that we're reading for our book club right now, Open Book. I mean, girl goes deep. She names names and famous ones, right? But it wouldn't be her story if she didn't.
I hear you, Marcy, and there is something about being authentic, especially if you're writing a memoir. But I got to be honest, for me, I just think right now in many industries, particularly ours, the world is so small and you don't know who you're going to encounter again or have to, work with again. And so for me, I might tell stories, but I'm not sure I would actually name names, because I'd be fearful that our paths would cross again. And then you've got that awkward thing of like, are they in a position of power over me? Am I in a position of power over them? And here's the other part of this. I'm sure there are people who've met me in the course of my career, not many, I hope, but who have maybe caught me on a bad day and think bad things about me as a result. And I would hate for them to spill tea on me, because to me, that wouldn't be the full truth of who I am.
Yeah, that's interesting, Sin. I think I love the idea that we've interviewed so many amazing women in particular on our show, particularly middle-aged and older women, who get to a point where I'm in awe of their fearlessness and their bravery and their courage to just like say it and put it out there. And they have like an I don't care attitude. But I think the reason is not just a function of age, but like maybe you said, Sin, or I think Marcy, you said it, because maybe there's not as much risk in doing so. Like, I have experienced a lot. We all have experienced a lot in this industry, and a lot of people who are in certain industries, they just come in contact with all kinds of personalities. And I would hope that one day I will have the courage to tell my story, but to do it now, especially as a woman, there are potential very harsh consequences for saying your truth at the wrong time. And I even dislike that I'm saying that out loud, but I think there's a risk and a reward. And I think later in life, when I'm old and gray, I'll spill the tea.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with that.
I mean,
maybe in 10 years' time, I should revisit this topic, to be quite honest with you. But you talk about that too in our industry, and this is really interesting because when I posed the question, I thought to myself, if I did do some type of tell-all too, I'm in sports, and a lot of us have seen things and heard things, and I don't know. I don't know when I'd be in a position to ever. I don't honestly think, especially if it was revolving around someone else's life and it affected people in their lives, and I think about their families. I don't think I could do it, but maybe if someone did really wrong me, or especially my family, that one would really hurt. Maybe it would be different, but for now, I'm cool with keeping it to myself.
Hey, Kate, I do have to ask you what you think, though, because I think the docuseries that everybody's talking about right now is The Last Dance, about the season. They are spilling the tea. I mean, they are all kind of throwing the former GM, Jerry Krause, under the bus. They're just basically talking about how much they hate him. Scottie Pippen is like, he's admitted to not behaving very well, but because he wasn't treated very well. And I do think that has something to do with it. If you're going to burn someone, like write a burn book about someone, I think the way to do it is also to burn yourself. I mean, to Cynthia's point earlier, what if you were having a bad day? I think when you write a memoir like this or do a docuseries like this, you have to be like, these people were jerks, but here's a time when I was a jerk. Who's perfect afterward?
But hey, I was right there in the mix of
that.
Okay, and I got to tell you, this doc is unbelievable. Like, I am a person who grew up, I think, like so many sports fans. The reason I love sports is because of Michael Jordan. I had the Wings. Oh, sorry if I'm sweating. We've gone through this before. I had the Wings poster literally above my bed for 7 years of my life. So to see the behind the scenes of this team and what really went on, I absolutely commend these documentary makers, because this has just been so sensational. In the first one too, and all of a sudden throws down the F-bomb and he's got the whiskey beside him, I'm thinking, oh, this is going to be so good. And good on them, because they're all at a point in their lives, right, where they are ready to say, this is really what happened during these incredible years over in Chicago. But I mean, I even knew as a kid that Jerry Krause was a disliked GM, but the level, I think now I'm seeing it, I'm like, wow, that was a lot worse than I really saw. So no, I think it's been incredible. I'm just going to put down my arms now. Sorry.
No problem. Okay.